YouTube. This is Silver from Exosuit Games. Today we're going to be looking at some Planetside 2. Going to be playing through with Light Assault with the motherfucking jetpack. For anyone who doesn't know Planetside 2, it's a future shooter, kind of MMO-y because there's just that many players thrown together at once. There is apparently a combat alert going on, which is a prerogative to capture this entire continent, which, calling it a continent might be a mite generous because it's only like 5 kilometers across, but, there's worse things. So, I just lost that spawn. What about this one? Looks like that's supposed to be my base. So we're spawning into Tormore Storage Yard over to the southern section of the continent to the west. Looks like there's a bunch of hostile armor. As light assault, I can fly with my magical jetpack. I just dropped one of my 2 bricks of C4 to try to get that vehicle. Somebody else got it first, but hey, at least it's dead. That's all that really matters. There's a whole bunch of hostiles on the other side of this low wall. So, oh yeah, grenades. I have a grenade bandolier on this build, so I am able to carry 4 frag grenades. And I am going to continue to chuck them at the enemy until I am killed. Tragedy. Well, one of the central things about Planetside 2 is respawn is a actually central mechanic. These little green bus-looking, bug-looking things are deployed sunderers, which are support APCs, heavy ground vehicles, and the green dot is, and the various other green dots are actual bases with spawn tubes where you are able to redeploy. But we have a lot of bad guys out here. So, this is my goddammit Batman build, which is equipped with a pump shotgun, the underboss, like 3.5 Magnum, jetpack, grenade bandolier so I can carry 4 grenades, flashbangs, C4, and of course the knife. With the aid of flashbangs, we'll hopefully be able to stun some of the occupants of this building. Enough to take over, or help my allies take over, this room again. Unsurprisingly, I was killed by the heavy combat exosuit, equipped with anti-vehicle weapons. This is platoon on platoon strength combat though, so that's a bit much for the moment, but really got to do something to fight back against the TR. As this box here is the percentage territory control. That yellow line should be 94%. If anyone gets 94% of the continent during this alert, they instantly win and it closes. We, Vanu, the good guys, awesome guys, the purple people eaters, have a measly 18% of the territory. The Terrans have a way blown out of proportion 50% of the continent, and the filthy NC scum have 31%. So, with only about a half hour left in the 2-hour alert, it's probably not going to be one in our favor. But, hey, it's bonus experience. Because there is a multiplier for participating in the alert. As long as you're on the continent, you get bonus experience. So, there is far worse things to do than fight the easy fight, where there are lots of kills. because people love to chase the alert. This game's about 2 years old now, 3 years old. I forget because I played in the beta, so that skews my impression of when I started playing it. Um, and overall, lately, recently SOE was sold off from Sony to form the new Daybreak Games. It still hasn't been easy to get a good impression of what that's going to do. They fired a few people in the dev team, but I never really followed who does what over much, so other than the handful of like really famous ones like Lupraza, Radar X, and them, I'm not really familiar with who does what, and those people seemed like they were more public relations slash program development rather than the actual devs. I may be wrong, of course, but um, so it's still remaining to be seen what happens. But in the past few months prior to that, the game builds have been getting pretty shaky as they release patches and patches and patches that break more than they fix, and then they need yet another patch to fix the patch. Vicious cycle. And DPI. This is one of my primary Sunderer variants. Me. Not going to survive all of this. This is my single penetration Sunderer build. So named because it's good for squad on squad level, because it has the deploy field feature, which, while in motion, doesn't really do much for you, but when you have deployed the vehicle, it equips it with a force field, which allows you to shrug off a very large amount of damage, and will then attempt to regenerate as soon as it goes down. However, there is a bit much there to drive that into, unfortunately, so kinda screwed the pooch on that. So we are going to have to find another way to go about this. I really want to try to put it to the TR, but those battlefields are really kind of big for set. And the comms chatter from larger squads can get pretty confusing, so I don't want to jump into one of those right at the moment. It looks like it's all platoons going right now, so don't really want any of that. One of the central tenets of the game is actually the squad-styled combat, but it can get very loud and confusing, so it's not the best for a stream. Better would be a small squad, which, let's see if anyone that I know specifically is on. Who the hell is that? I've never heard of him. Why is he in charge? Weird. Any of my friends on? Nope. Oh, right. Note to self. Yeah. Screen edit. Blah, black screen, my friends' names. Derp. Yeah. Okay. And do it again. Stupid Bill. Bad Bill. Okay. So, in order to try to capture Raven's Landing, we're going to have to get a little bit wonky. So, light assault's just not going to cut it for any of the combat. I guess I'll try to defend or access firearms still. I am not ready to leave my light assault behind. And luckily, the Terrans have obligingly decided to begin pushing out towards us here. The way this base is set up is it's on a large mesa, plateau, not entirely sure, large ground island, and the only way up without a jetpack is this bridge. There are a couple of ways onto that bridge, such as driving across it, or finding one of the multitudinous, is that a word? Multitudinous? Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Gravity assist elevators, which should be here somewhere. I think that was just somebody in one. Yeah. See, that little bar there with that force field emitter means that that is shielded by that deploy force field, which means I am not going to be able to break that vehicle because I only have 2 sticks of C4. Tragic. I killed myself and that dude. Since I've been playing for a while, one of the central tenets for me is to try to keep my kill-death ratio up. Because, well, you've got to have goals, goddammit. If you're not doing something, then you're doing nothing. And, well, I play enough video games that I decided it was time to make a YouTube channel, so that should explain a lot. The way the base capture mechanics for this game works is essentially capture and hold. All of those big letters on the mini-map in the lower left corner, and that I occasionally look at, are the capture points. And each one is worth a equivalent proportion based on how many there are of the base. So if you've got, as the defender, since I own the base, if we've got 1 and they've got 2, they're getting 2/3 capture credit and not capturing at the full rate. If they have all 3, it will proceed at the maximum rate possible. So we want to hold on to at least 1, preferably 2, because if we've got even 2 of the points and they still have 1, they will get no credit towards trying to capture the base and will in fact lose any that they've already accrued. Playing Vanu comes with 2 sort of perks to it. One, they're not the dev's favorite, so the game's a little harder because we don't get the fancy smancy OP weapons like the Terrans and the NC sometimes do. And, well, the second one is more of what used to be a credit, is Vanu from Planetside1 used to be the Thinking Man's faction. So for quite some time, Vanu on Planetside2 was also the Thinking Man's faction. And things like the command squad channels and things like that were much better than on the other factions, I've been led to believe. But as the state of the game has decayed, those other things have kind of fell by the wayside. So, I mean, I'm hopeful for the game. I really enjoy it, even as it's gotten kind of meh, because it has a unique sort of spot of large-scale sci-fi combat. It's not the most realistic thing in the world, but it's still fun. Things don't have to be super realistic to be fun. I mean, look at porno. When was the last time you watched a realistic porno and enjoyed it? Never. That's what I thought. Oh man, I'm getting off close to an even kill-death ratio. That's not okay. So, I'm going to want to switch classes a little bit. Try to farm myself some more kills. Looks like there's a bunch of them on the other side of these rocks here. Damn it! Now I am even. Oh, this is looking tragic. But got time. Don't want this thing to go too long, so time for an episodic break.